Wait, before we go any further, let me explain these videos so you understand them. First week 1, I had to get from Alaska to California. I had a hard deadline that I had to be here on Monday, the 25th, and there was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And so I just had to get some miles down. I had to turn and burn from Alaska down to Tracy, California. This was one of the few hard deadlines we have on this trip. So these videos, you're gonna get to see hundreds of miles in just a few minutes. We're talking just a couple second clips stacked, and you're gonna get to see the entire drive. And there was some spots I was able to get some highlights on, so that's cool. But I wanted to kind of explain the format of these videos because they're not typically our format. So I'm actually going to voice over for them, and I'll watch them here and kind of voice over so you kind of get the story of what happened here. They're not going to be real long ones. They're going to be short ones. Remember, it was a turn and burn. I will highlight the things I can. But if you want to see what it looked like during the drive, catch this first week. There's some pretty good highlights in there. It's worth watching. Anyways, with that being said, let's get into the video and we'll talk about what we saw out there on the road. There you go, Trip B. The official start of AK2UT 2025. All right, so here I am leaving Palmer. Of course, we filled up at Three Bears before we took off because we love that Three Bears gasoline. And we just kind of took our way out. We went out through Palmer, up along through Glacier View, out to Eureka, down to Glen Allen, all the way up till we hit the border crossing. So it was a relatively easy drive. I mean, not bad weather, traffic wasn't bad, great views. I mean, the clouds, the contrasting in the clouds during the drive was amazing. There was some spots where, you know, you got to take a little extra caution. These bridges in particular, they can be iffy no matter what time of year it is. So we kept meandering along, cruising along. Of course, had to stop for a bio break, and no bio break would be complete without a photo. Eventually the rain came in on us, and then it went away, but we continued on our way. Not much very differing scenery through this last leg of the journey here. As we made our way up from Glen Allen towards the border, we continued to run into little sporadic things of rain. Cloud cover continued, lots of construction zones we came across. There was actually a lot more construction zones heading up past Glen Allen than there was before Glen Allen, which actually surprised me. Although all that road does need work, it's a little wild. I would highly recommend staying close to that speed limit, because if you're hauling a heavy load, or you've got a trailer behind you, or you maybe have a vehicle that's less than stable at highway speeds, there are some sections there that are going to be a little rough, and they're going to test your abilities as a driver, both with reflexes and ability to keep the beast on the road. So we just kept going along. I mean, it felt like fall in some places, which is wrong to say, but things were looking nice and rich and green. Some leaves were starting to turn. The fireweed was in full bloom. It was a really good drive to just look around, see things, and enjoy everything Alaska has to offer. We even had some bicyclists out on the road, which of course can be a hazard, but I didn't see any problems with them. The only real problem was keeping moving. There was a lot of areas where it was stop and go. And so when we had moments where we could go, we went within the speed limit, of course. And then as we got closer and closer to the border, no worries. And then we got to the border, and guess what? Canada did not like me. And yes, I'm sweating because the AC in my hotel room does not work, and it's 90 degrees outside at 8 o'clock. So they didn't like a knife I had, and so because of the knife I had, they stopped me. They did a thorough inspection of my truck. They did not help me put the truck back together again, but they did give me a piece of paper in return for my $300 knife, and sent me on my way. And so at that point, feeling frustrated that the knife was confiscated, it wasn't that the knife was confiscated, it's that the knife had meaning to me. And unfortunately, that knife's gone now. So as the night grew dark, we found a pull off. It ended up just being a wash for the mountain, and we made camp for the night. So day one in the books, that's what it was.